All right. How's everybody doing out there today? This is Gold Pilled here with the Gold Pilled stream. And this video is going to be a little bit of a rant, but it's also going to have some other important information that I'm going to show to you and lay out. But the main reason for starting this video is kind of to rant because of lately here, I've pretty much had it with the truth community. The current online truth community, and I'm assuming that my observations are genuine, and most of my observations are not just bots and like fake comments and stuff, but the state of the truth community right now is super pathetic. I don't know if it's people's intelligence, them being low IQ, or what, but they are completely falling for all the propaganda that is put out there. They cannot discern the truth, and even though discerning, 100% truth is really, really hard, they can't even get a gist of what's happening. Like when you say, don't lose sight of the forest for the trees, they can't even begin to get a glimpse of the forest. They're so focused on individual trees, and they can't even start to form a picture of the bigger reality that's going on here. And what I mean by that goes back to when I say, most of the truth community, boy, they think they're red pilled, but they're not. Well, I'm going to show a little video clip here. And the gentleman in it, he talks about how the red pill, once you get red pilled and then you kind of go deeper into things, the red pill ends up turning into a lavender pill or a purple pill because it's getting diluted with blue pill. And that, that confuses people. They don't have that higher level discernment to see that. And they think they're red pilled, but it turns out they're just purple pills. And, I read comments and stuff on certain videos I watch, and other people's comments are so sad, they're so pathetic. They're just, they trust 100%. Most all these channels are limited hangouts, and that little bit of truth they get, they just take it all in as truth, and they're 100% for that person. Like, oh, you're so right, 100% correct. Oh, blah, blah. Why can't everybody see this? You're so spot on. And they have no idea that they are duped. That they are duped themselves. They're purple pilled, I guess we'll start calling it. And I'm just so fed up with it. And, for the longest time, I quit commenting on videos. But recently, I've been commenting quite a bit, to try and help people. And the comments, trying to help people, they just respond, back kind of with rash type anger. Are you okay? Are you mentally unstable? And I'm perfectly stable. It's, you might want to look in the mirror about that because you're the one that's not, seeing things. And even after, I leave a little bit of advice, to try to expand your thinking, you won't even accept it or entertain the possibility of it. And that's so true for a majority of the supposed truth movement. I mean, we're doomed. We are absolutely doomed. People think, they know things, but they're still trapped. And the controllers, they got us. There's going to be no way out of this unless people can start seeing things on a higher level for what they really are. And like I said, that's why I got this channel. That's why I'm trying to reach people. I'm trying to make things a little clearer. And, we don't need to, sniff out the 100% truth. You just need to get enough of it to where you can see, you know, um, to where you can see, like the lies and know, kind of most of the truth. But because we're never really going to know, 100% truth. I don't think any of us will be able to do that unless you're part of the part of the controlling elite. But you got to be able to know enough of it, to know when you're being duped. And I know it's hard, but we got to do something because they just have such a stranglehold on us that we're never going to get out of this. We're never going to get out of this unless we start seeing how they're able to control us. And the one thing that really kind of got me off on a rant is the channel Black Pilled. He's not on YouTube, but he does streams like 2 days a week in the real early morning hours on Odyssey, I think. And even though he's a smart guy and has a pretty good outlook on things and a lot of the cultural subversion, especially in movies and like Hollywood and stuff, and the race subversion that they're doing. Even him, he's not, he's not quite on top of things, and he just appeases, his audience. So many people just want to appease their audience, probably mainly to get shekels. He was talking, he'll read comments, and people donate with comments. They make sure to read them so, the viewers feel like they're a part of the show and they give more money. And they were bringing up Nick Fuentes, talking about him and some new documentary or something about him he has. And I guess Fuentes is like the leader of this America First group and whatnot. And so they bring that topic up to Black Pilled, old Devin Stack. And he just kind of agrees with them, like, oh yeah, Fuentes, he's doing this and he touches on these topics, that no one else talks about, and that's good. And totally ignore the fact that old Fuentes is just a closet homosexual. Who's likely just part of IIA directly or some kind of, asset steering narratives. And he's not America First. He's probably a closet Jew too. And he is not America First, and he's not for the people. He might take a lot of heat in the media, but that guy is getting rich. He is making bank. He's no different than a Tim Pool. But people just love him. They can't see, above the manipulation and total bullshit nature that he is. And it's ridiculous. And the fact that channels like Black Pill don't call that out. They got a comment about that. Black Pill should have been like, that Fuentes, he's just a, BS counter narrative to get you on board, a certain belief system, and, support this and that, and, called it out. But no, he just appeases his crowd and agrees, oh yeah, we like Nick Fuentes, send me money, your $100 super chat, I'll agree with anything. And it just pisses me off. The people who are supposed to be fighting for us are doing the exact opposite, of what they portray. They're just keeping people duped, keeping them in echo chambers, and distracting them, from the real points. And I've had it. I've absolutely had it. And I find myself, agreeing, with the good points of these channels, but then, all their bullshit I'm in total opposition to. So, no wonder some people are like, oh, are you mentally unstable? It's like, well, no, I like the good points, but I can see the bullshit, which obviously, you can't see the bullshit. And I'm just fed up with it. I'm so fed up with this truth community. It's pretty much a fake community now. It's almost 100% controlled, and it seems like nobody but me can recognize this stuff. So I don't know if anybody else out there can recognize this stuff. You know, are you approaching gold pill level? To see this stuff? Is there anybody with me out there? It's like you're, losing the fight, or it's just an uphill battle. So enough of that little opening rant. Old pal Brendan O'Connell here. He had a video posted the other day. I think it was number 112 for him. He had some good information and shared parts of a video that had good information. And I'm going to share a part of that video that he turned me on to. And I got a new channel to subscribe to on YouTube, the DefCon channel. And I actually have a video from that channel saved previously. And with this other video that I just seen here, I decided I better subscribe to that, because those DefCon conventions, they putting out some good information, some good truths in there, and opened up some new avenues of information here for me. So I want to share that here with you guys. And old Brendan, he's still at it, still ranting, about the IIA and everything, and still has hopium that we're gonna petition the politicians and play the political game, and if we can just get 10% of the political elite on our side, we're gonna make change. A guy that's never been in America and hasn't experienced our politics firsthand. But yep, we're gonna play the house's game, and we're gonna beat the house. Sorry, that's still not gonna fly. Even the gentleman in this video I'm gonna share you, I do believe in this video speech that he gives. He even says that you're not gonna change the current system. The only way is to wake up to what's going on and just have it completely collapse. So I'll link that video so you can watch it. I highly recommend you watch all of it. And old Brendan, I guess he's almost finished with a whole bunch of high production glossy flyers or pamphlets or something that he's going to distribute to people who want to go hand them out to politicians. So you can go waste your time trying to wake up politicians that are signed in ink, beholden to other people, other countries mainly. But yeah, that's his activism. Go hand out flyers and pamphlets, and he even in the one video he says, so keep on sending the cash to me. Yep, keep on sending him shekels, and he's going to use those shekels to disperse elsewhere to play the game, make pamphlets. So supposedly that's where your money's going when you give Brendan shekels, to make pamphlets to give out to politicians who are going to throw them in the trash the moment you get out of sight. I'm just so fed up, guys. I'm just so fed up. It's hard walking this middle road and just seeing everything that's wrong, and everybody else, they're not walking it with you. So let's move on. Let's go watch this clip. And this clip here is going to lay out why nobody is on the gold pill level. And it's understandable why practically no one is on this level, because ever since World War II, they, whoever they are, however you want to call them, the controllers, the elite, the global cabal, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call they've had the control over the minds of men ever since World War II. This video is, like I said, it's a DefCon video from DefCon 22, a speech by Richard Thieme. And even in his speech, he says that, because he's talked to intelligence people, has some friends that were in intelligence, and he asked them, what can we speak, freely about, to where the words we're using, we actually know what we're talking about. And his friend said anything up until 1945. So everything after 45, which is, the end of World War II, is controlled and manipulated narrative that they, deem fit for consumption. So it's pretty much the post-truth world started after World War II. You can't really believe anything. You really need discernment, and you got to connect dots. And that's why I'm going to recommend to watch the whole interview from this clip that I'm playing here. So let's go over there and watch this. Let's get my screen share.
Because elements of the national security state are committed to the production of strategic fictions, simulations, and deceptions, as Millie said it, the mind of society must become confused about what is real and rely on postmodern deconstruction in a futile attempt to discern what is really happening in the wilderness of mirrors. I remember sitting in the rain with a friend from NSA, and I was telling him what I thought was going on, and he said, noticing my symptoms of secondary trauma, which were very real and predictable from the conversations I was having with people, including those who tortured and were tortured, he said, you know enough to know what's not true, but you can't necessarily connect all of the dots to know what is true. And you have to learn to live with that ambiguity and anxiety in your constant need-to-know machine effort to figure out what's real in your life. When I grew up, I was told that seeking what was real and acting on it was what we were called to do as human beings. But I didn't know that the societal context in which I lived would undermine that very project and make it impossible to complete, which is why I say the red pill turns into a lavender pill. The most effective way of doing this kind of propaganda is not just to lie. It is to provide a mixture of truths, half-truths, and lies. That's the best propaganda, and that's the most effective, because it can connect like children's blocks plugging into one another with the schemas or narratives already in our heads, snap into place like those beads. If it connects to what we already believe is true, and it sounds like that, we will build the module up in our minds and believe it is true. So this can get us in a real mess. Let me give you an example. Let's see, there's Alexander Haig.
So this can get us in a real mess. Well, it's gotten us in a real mess. We're in a dilly of a pickle, so to say. So you heard it there. That's a very smart man there. He starts out, he says, people, they know enough, to know what's not true, but they don't know enough to know what is true. They can't connect the dots. They can't put the puzzle pieces together to form a real truth. So their mind starts racing, and the anxiety they have to know the truth, they start clinging to things. And he goes on into the propaganda that, they are using. And, I've said before, the limited hangout, 80% truth, 20%, bullshit. Well, and the propaganda wouldn't be effective if it wasn't good. And how do they create the, good, effective propaganda? they mix in truth, they mix in lies, and they mix in half lies. And, when you're all anxiety and your brain's going crazy, wanting truth because it's all confused, you know, it gets a little sample of that truth, from all these supposed truth channels, that now exist. And when your brain gets that little bit of truth, it clings to it and it builds the narrative. Like when you already have, a little bit of an idea of what's true, and then you're presented with, a narrative that's, part true, part lie, part half lies, your brain starts to build that narrative up then, and that's how, you form your, real truths, the 100% truths, your brain's thinking. And that's why the majority of this truth movement is completely purple pilled. They cling to their internet truthers, as the source, of absolute truth. And that couldn't be, farther from reality. And that's why you got people that they just love Nick Fuentes and America First. They love Black Pilled, Devin Stack. You know, a call for an uprising on YouTube. She's complete bullshit. Controlled IIA. They cling to them. And that's why you read the comments and they're all in. They're all in on, these channels and online mouthpieces. I call them internet daddies. That's their internet daddy. Tell me a story, internet daddy. Come on, internet daddy, read me a story. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's sad. It's frustrating. It's everything. And I try to not get so worked up about it because I know people, the intelligence has been going down for decades. The average IQ has been dropping for some time now, especially post C-19 era here. I do believe the average IQ for adults has dropped numerous points after C-19 here. So the people's intelligence is not that great. So it's easy for them to be fooled and get duped. And even if you are semi-intelligent, it's easy to get duped because the layers of subversion is so heavy. The subversion layers could be 5 to 10 layers deep, and you might only get 3 layers deep and think you really know something, but you still got another 7 layers to go, before you get anywhere, worthwhile. And then, you factor in that, like I said, ever since World War II, they've pretty much mastered the minds of men. In that speech there by Richard, he says that they're pros at it. They do this for a living and they've mastered it. They've mastered the control of your mind, the manipulation of narratives to your mind. This is 100% a post-truth world. And old Brendan, he's been harping on old Yuri Bezmenov quotes here recently. And a lot of what Yuri said is, I do believe to be true. And one of the quotes is the subversion and the demoralization, once effectively applied, that even given the abundance of information, folks can still not discern the true reality. So just look online in the truth community right now. The abundance of information. There's an overabundance of information. Every angle, every field, every area, that you could think of is just abundance of information. And even though all that information's out there, true reality and true truths can't be discerned. It's we're in a tough time right now, and as long as this technology and everything continues to progress, um, I, I'm not optimistic. I'm really concerned for the future. I'm concerned, for my children's future. I'm concerned for everyone's future because the way it looks right now, we're doomed. Especially when people can't see the forest for all the trees. And I forget who I was listening to here. Um, I totally forget his name. It's right. I see the picture of him. But he said what we need to do is digress from technology. We need to start rolling back to simpler times, do it slowly, but as long as we have this technology that we do, it's going to be a form of control, and it's going to be an effective form of control. And so we need to roll back. We need to roll back to simpler times, if we want to have a good functioning society. So I don't know what the answer going forward here is. I really don't know what the solutions are. I'm kind of leaning to, the system is not fixable. Well, I'm pretty much certain that the current system, we can't fix it. We can't fix it from the inside. We can't reform it. We just can't fix it to, make it function for the people. So, I'm leaning towards, in my opinion, that the system needs to crumble. We need to totally bring the system down and start over. And it's not going to be an easy thing to do. And it's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations doing it. And it's going to be really hard on people. It's not going to be a fun time. There's probably going to be a lot of tragedy and loss, if that happens. But in my opinion, that's probably the only way that things are going to really change. And so I think that's about done for my rant here. I said I'll link that video in the description. I really encourage you to listen to all of it because there's a lot of important information in there. About how the controllers, have taken over, pretty much every aspect to control your mind. How they do it, how it's so compartmentalized that even the ones working in the intelligence communities don't even know the picture. That's how compartmentalized it is. Only the people at the top know the whole picture and how all the pieces work together, to manipulate and change things. So even the worker bees, the worker ants that are carrying out the controllers, agenda, they're not even aware they're doing it. And they think they're doing something else. It's so compartmentalized. So I encourage everybody, start thinking higher. Dig out that intelligence, that I pray is still left in your heads, and take the gold pill and just start being cautiously aware of every piece of information, every piece of supposed truth in this truth community, all the online truth channels, the platforms, everything. Consider everything suspect, and consider everything is a possible, intended narrative to steer your thinking. So, take care, everybody. This is Gold Pilled with the Gold Pilled Stream. I'm out. Peace. Oh, one more thing I completely forgot about when I was going into my doomed rant. That DefCon video here, the title of it is, I forgot what the title is. The only way to tell the truth is fiction. And a big point of his speech is The controllers, controlling the minds of men and all the information that's put out, the only way that people can actually speak real truth is to do it in fiction. So he's written a lot of books, fictional books, but they're based on truth. And you need to kind of know the key to, be able to decipher, what's real out of that fiction and what's the tiny little percent, actual lies or the actual fiction. And so keep that in mind because, people always talk about, Hollywood movies and shows and stuff, imitating life. Well, that's how people put out truth. It's disguised as fiction. So even whenever you're viewing fictional movies or fictional shows or reading fictional books, always consider there might be truth in there because that's the only way that insiders can put out their truth. Firsthand accounts of insiders, they have to put it out as fiction because otherwise it's not allowed. You'll either be targeted or you might disappear. The controllers, they do not allow real truth to be put out, in plain day as truth. It needs to be disguised in fiction. So I'm going to look into this gentleman's books here. I'm trying to get an ebook copy of his one. So I encourage you to do the same. Be aware that, truth is put out as fiction, and then figure out the key to the puzzle so that, you can realize, the actual truths that are in there. All right. Take care, everyone. Peace.